Welcome to the Flippin' Great Podcast, Episode 4.
Alright, so I for real don't know what episode this is. 5?
This is episode 4. We
4?
are not proficient enough to be on episode 5 yet.
Cool, episode 4. So I'm Adam.
I am Rob.
I'm Christy.
I'm Jared.
I'm Jimmy.
And we are going to talk some more pinball stuff. This is the Flippin' Great Podcast, in case you accidentally stumbled upon us, which you probably did.
Sorry, you're looking for Flippin' Podcasts. That's a whole nother one.
Yeah, this isn't that one.
But stick around, guys. Come on. Don't sell yourself short.
Look, we need 10 minutes of your time so we get the revenue mark, and then you can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah,
right?
Carry on with your day after
Just
that.
give us 10 minutes. That's it. Actually, I don't even think we set us up yet for ad revenue. It doesn't matter.
No, we don't have revenue.
It doesn't matter.
I mean that in general sense. We don't have revenue.
All right, so we got some new stuff in the shop. We wanted to talk a little bit about Texas Pinball Festival, some of the good and bad that came out of that, and then some other stuff too. But let's just get into it. We got a pretty sweet new addition to our little arcade in Tallahassee, and that is Party Zone, right? That's the better of what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Not to knock Party Zone. We did get a Party Zone, but we also got a Ghostbusters, which is our first pin that any of us have owned that is still under warranty, I believe.
It's a weird feeling.
We had an X-Men, but I don't think that was under warranty.
No, that was about 2 years old, maybe
Right.
3 years old, and bought from a router. So
Right, so this Ghostbusters, when we bought it, well, when I picked it up from the guy's house, it had 74 plays. When it got here, might have had a few more, because I might have just wanted to make sure it worked at my parents' house. So it might have had like 200. I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of it.
it's been in the shop for 3 business days. Like 3 days we were open, right?
Yes.
And then an additional
it's
2
only
off
been here
days.
for 2 days that we've been open.
I would imagine it has 180 to 200 plays on it
It's, yeah, I mean,
at this point.
I basically set it up, and it was nonstop. That's why I told, when we set it up, I told Chris, I'm like, you better get used to A, Ernie Hudson's voice, B, the Ecto 1 siren, because you're going to hear that a lot, and also, we got one, because she screams it all of the time.
Oh, but it's great to hear that.
For now, just wait, it'll get to you eventually.
Speaking of Ernie Hudson, he's going to be at that horror
Spooky,
movie
right?
convention I'm
Yeah,
going
did
to.
you want us to bring the translate down to have him sign it? I mean, it'll just be a super bright light in people's face. We can put Freddie. Like we have an additional Freddie one.
Jared made us a painting with this wonderful. So Jared owns a print shop here in town, and he does a lot of work for us, including all of our banners and signs, and he's created some canvas prints too. So I propose we just hang the painting over it.
Oh, I'm totally
That, or can you whip us up like a Vigo the Carpathian, and we can just like put it like long form on top of that?
I was thinking that when y'all got it, I was looking for a high-res version of
yeah,
Vigo
we
to
need
print out.
Vigo
See what I can
edition.
do. I can help you find one of those images.
Yeah, we could totally do that. But if you wanted it signed, we could bring it down there. I don't know if it adds any value to the game, but it's a cool story at least. But
To Ernie Hudson Con?
yeah,
I mean, that's where they
Con.
renamed it, right?
Ernie Con.
Okay.
It's just him.
It's just him
Just
and Ernie
him?
Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar
half
strings and
guitarist.
Ghostbusters. Dude, I would totally go to that. But yeah, if you want to do that, we can. But I did have the high score on it, and Rob complimented me, and then he decided to just straight up destroy my score, which is pretty cool, I guess.
All of like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Try to be the guy that was playing against him had to try to catch up with that.
Oh, yeah. What was your final score? I never saw.
I think I finished at 9 million.
It was such a
not
small
good
number.
11 million something.
It didn't even register on the DMD.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if I can count this high, but it is 2,223,781,230.
Very good.
I had a
Gold
little
star.
catching up to do, but I was going to try.
Yeah, before that, the high score was like 838, I think, 838 million, and then lasted for like 3 days. So cool, man.
Yeah.
No, that is a
Did
very,
actually.
very good score on that, and it is legit. 3 ball, the glass was on, at least for ball 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 that I saw. So you got all the extra balls in there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's a killer score. So we do have the first gen Slimer mech in there, which I'm going to order the replacement because it does work, but it is finicky at times.
That's so weird. When you're like, hey, warranty guys, I need you to send us a part. No, we're not going to pay anything.
Right.
That to me is just, that boggles the mind still.
Yeah, so it's, the issue
Change
with
is
it.
good. Change is good.
I I explained it to Robin when she was up here, but basically the Slimer mech's on it almost looks like a thick brake cable, and there's a ring that goes around the top of where it hangs. And what's supposed to happen is when it's active, you hit Slimer and it wiggles, and then the cable hits that ring, and it acts as a switch.
So it's like a tilt mechanism.
Same
like
exact idea, right? So
why don't we just put a tilt bob there? It'll hold up better.
it probably would, but
Stop thinking that way. Go for the free stuff.
You can paint it green and paint it Slimer.
I guess what the
Stick some
issue
arms on
is on the first gen of Ghostbusters, the cable they used was too flimsy. So when you hit it, sometimes it's bent
Any
like this,
vibration.
and it doesn't register. Slimer will actually hit something before the cable does. So the second gen mech is more of a firm cable, or it's thicker or something like that. So it doesn't have that much issue. So we need to replace that. It still works. I did the fix. And the fix to kind of make it halfway work is you take that little top piece off, and rather than run the cable on the side of the connector, you run it over the top of it, because it pulls it up a little bit. So I'd say it's working 75% of the time. It still registers.
I didn't have any problem if you put a direct hit on it,
Right.
registering.
And that's what you want,
yeah.
but you still, if it's a known design flaw, we need to get the replacement part, to replace it.
So weird, a Stern with a known design flaw.
Oh, yeah. Batman doesn't have any, right?
I don't know.
Oh, we can actually talk about those.
Can you call them on the phone and see if it's got a design flaws?
I don't know. The one I played had a massive design flaw, but who knows?
Can we bring up the pants wedding mode on it?
Sure. Go for it.
Oh, here it is. First time I'm getting to play this game. I'm dressed in a full jumpsuit for an event we had going on.
And again, we're talking about Ghostbusters now.
True.
Not Batman 66.
Yeah.
The story would have taken a weird turn.
Well, here we are playing it, and I set up a mode. I still haven't figured out how to set it up again. And then everything just turns itself off. It makes like a bzzz sound, and it sounds like it's just completely died. And I looked over at Rob, and I'm like, what have I done? Next thing I know, I have this thing screaming at me. I don't even think I caught the ball afterwards. I think I was laughing afterwards so hard because it was just amazing of that just to be put in the game.
Yeah. When did they put that in?
Yeah, I don't know, because I know Dan got his. He was one of the first ones, one of the first ones in Florida to get it, and I don't think it was in there at launch. I genuinely don't think they added that, and I still don't know what triggers it. I think it's just like a random lock. You get it in a random lock, and it just screams at you.
I thought it was something to do with Spooked Librarian, but I've played that mode a couple of times since then, and I couldn't get its trigger.
I've got it to happen when it locks on the right side, and I've also had it happen when you kick it in the scoop. So I know it's not like a set target, unless I'm just crazy. But I don't know what triggers it.
I'm wondering if it could be something like you hit a certain thing X amount of times, like maybe 100 times, 200 times, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It almost seems random, but it is a really awesome thing to have that happen randomly in an arcade full of people. Because, as I was saying before, I don't think you can adjust the volume on it. I think it's just when that happens, it's going to scream at the top of its lungs. I'd imagine there's a way you can shut it off. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't either. But it's too amazing just
there
to
would
watch
have to be a
people
way
jump.
to shut that off, I'd imagine, like in the Stern settings or something.
I don't know.
But
I mean, they may have just...
it's so loud.
It is.
Over an arcade full of pinball and arcade, it's just
Everybody stops what they're doing.
shrill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny how many balls on other games will drain when that happens, because everyone takes their eyes off their game.
It's going to be great when
Yeah,
it
I
happens
think
at
when-
tournament.
But
I think when that happened to you, literally everyone that was in here stopped and turned in your direction.
oh yeah.
Well, they wanted
Like
to see if someone was
mid-games.
getting murdered.
That
It's
yeah.
So.
it's a legit blood curdling scream, so it's pretty cool. We got lucky with the one we got. It had some mods done to it. It's got the I don't know if they're official Stern side stickers on it.
Yeah,
But-
the side blades.
Okay, they fit it really well. We also got the PKE meter plexi mirror that helps you kind of see the skill shot lanes, and then also I don't know if you guys saw it or not, the side over the out lanes. There's little plastic pieces there. I guess what happened is I'm sure you've done it, but the Larry brothers, when you hit it, it bounces off.
Rebounds it over.
So those plexis there actually keep the ball from popping over the apron. And then the other thing was the little Ecto 1 car mod was on there. Oh, and the shaker motor. Forgot about that.
Yeah, shaker motor's nice.
Yeah, the shaker motor.
Especially when it hits storage
Yeah.
multi-ball.
Oh,
It's
God,
so
yes.
good. It's so just pleasing to see the lights flash and the noise and that thing's just shaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the game. I think it's got beautiful side art. The gameplay is great. Little details like the little Egon sticker on the DMD board's cool. Egons don't touch it like that. It's cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've only... Before we got it, I played it at Southern Fried Game Room Expo, and I maybe played it 2 or 3 times. And I liked it immediately, but It may just be the newness of it talking, but so far it's my favorite Stern game.
It's fun, man. Like, but I still put Metallica up there, but I think this is more of a fun game. I get Metallica's got the tournament set mindset to it. Ghostbusters been in a lot of tournaments too. I don't know if they're just changing it up, but I still see Metallica a lot in tournaments.
It's a tournament-ready game, though. I mean,
oh yeah.
I can't love to hear a tournament and have that screen go off.
I'd imagine they'd shut it off.
Oh.
if they can.
Maybe if you put it in tournament mode, it shuts that off. 'Cause it does slow the gameplay down.
It's the most complete code for a newer game,
Yeah.
I think, that I've seen
I'd
in a
say
long time for a Stern.
Yeah.
Normally at this point, they have a skill shot. That's all I was. That's
no,
where I
that's
stopped
it.
with that.
That's it. That's all I
Yeah, he
got.
wasn't pausing for effect.
No,
that was it.
I mean, this game was put out fall of last year,
Yeah.
and there's Aerosmith just came out, which was the next game after that. So
Which is cool because it has Sparky voice in it from Metallica, and it has Kiss multi-ball in it, and it has Metallica multi-ball in it.
it's the greatest hits. It's the big hits
Like,
version.
we'll talk about it. That game is a lot of fun, but it's got a long way to go.
It's very blue.
It's very something.
very
We're both colorblind, so
flash
sure.
drawn.
It could be purple.
It's something. It's very something. But to wrap up on Ghostbusters, I love it. Like I think it's a fantastic out of the box. I mean, I shouldn't say out of the box game, but the one we got is a blast. There's really not a lot on it outside of a couple little quirks, the Slimer mech and the Scolari brothers. Those Stern flippers are too freaking powerful. Like you hit the Scolari brothers, and sometimes it's like no, you hit me direct, it's just not going to work. It just bounces off.
Well,
I was about to say, you saw a shot that I did a little while
you
ago, and I hit
airballed
that, and it just completely knocked it over everything.
Yeah.
it could be better. I mean, it could have a rocket. It could have a jukebox, maybe a robotic comic, an ozone layer shot. I mean, there's some things that could definitely be improved upon. It's no Party Zone, is what I'm saying.
Right. So that was a segue into Party Zone. Our buddy over in Niceville, who pretty much we have all of his recycled pins. I
Yep,
think.
secondhand Sandies for
Every
pins
pin
here.
except his Lord of the Rings, which I'm still not salty about or whatever that he's had.
Doesn't sound like it at all.
Oh, I'm so mad. It was such a nice Lord of the Rings. We had it for a couple months over there.
Yeah, we kind of babysit his pins sometime too when they make their way. So we had a AC/DC LE.
Yeah, we had the LE. We had a Star Trek.
Yep.
We didn't have the Metallica, did we? No, that Metallica went straight to him. We had a couple. We actually had his Bride of Pinball too.
Yeah.
That was a super nice one too. Which, God, there's so many things that I just want to segue to, but we need to stick on Party Zone. We're going to talk about Bride of Pinball.
Well, I mean, Party Zone it's a good game.
It's fun, man. I actually that little arcade down by my parents' house in Hudson, Florida, has a Party Zone. It's beat to crap though, but I always tell people when they ask about Party Zone, I'm like, it's a YouTube video in a pinball machine. It's just completely random crap, not in a bad way. It's just
It's 90s. It's
just
90s
random
pinball.
crap.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. But that one that we got, I don't know if he cleaned it up or whatever, but it's actually in really good shape.
Oh yeah, it's really good shape.
The ramps are nice and clear, and nothing's really broken on it. It's a heavy ramp game. It's a lot like
The ramps are really interesting too because they're like minimalist ramps.
yeah, and they do that cool
they're
little
all-
loop thing at the end.
Yeah, they're all banked ramps that are
Yeah.
not like traditional ones.
Yeah, it's cool though. But I haven't played it too much since we've had it. I played it at Jason's a bunch, and I played the garbage one down in Hudson. But
The one thing I've noticed about it is the ramps kind of remind me of Terminator 2. You're just basically going back and forth like almost in a V motion.
yeah, well that sets up the modes, and then you can do like the rocket ship, and you can do the little boom box or
The
whatever.
rock it ship
Yeah, the rocket ship, and
with its rock it fuel.
yeah. There's a lot of little things like that. I don't really know the deep rule set for that game yet. I haven't put a lot of time on it, but it's fun, man. The back glass is still weird to me. I'm not used to having the DMD as low as it is.
Yeah, we really need a Elvira and the Party Monsters to
There's
couple
one
that
set.
out.
Steve just did a repair for that
Yeah,
lady who's
yeah.
got one, and apparently he said all that was wrong with it was the glass at some point had broken on it, and it just shattered in the game. So there was pieces of broken playfield glass behind switches.
They bought it at auction for $300.
Oh man!
What?
Now this was a while ago, so I
right,
mean that's
right.
not unheard of. But
Yeah,
Not
that's,
today's.
No, that would never happen again. But that's such a fun game, man. That's the same era as that one, right? With the same.
yeah, it's
upside
same.
down-
It's the same design too.
Yeah.
Cabinet design with that speaker thing on the top.
There's another segue we talk about the Elvira pin. So many.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I know. I want to get there now. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the new stuff we had come into our shop. We had some games leave. We got rid of Genie.
I wouldn't say got rid of.
Well, not got rid of, but they transitioned out.
Yeah.
We got-
Yeah, we had Genie
We
since
discharged
opening.
them.
We got Genie our opening week, and
Yep.
so it'd been here for about 4.5 months or so.
Yep.
That El Toro, which was the Bally single player EM,
Yeah.
Harley Davidson.
Harley Davidson, Sega, and
Sharks.
Pool Sharks, which was here for a very short time.
Yeah.
But people like to buy pinball games, and someone offered a deal on the 4-game package, and now we got Ghostbusters and Party Zone, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, 4 for 2. I mean, I'm down to do that as long as it's for newer Stearns, so let's keep doing that. So. Anybody want to buy a Dracula?
We'll do a
Trade it for Metallica?
Dracula, Dracula for sale. Stern.
I'll murder all of you.
Yeah, not BSD.
Shh. You want interest on this, don't you?
Hey.
Jared also has a Dracula.
Yeah, unless
as well,
Jared's
so.
selling his.
How many did we pull out of that roof? There was at least 6.
I was gonna say 5 or 6.
6.
Yeah. There
Out
was
of the ceiling?
out of the wigwam roof, yeah.
We pulled over 40 games out of that.
I meant just Draculas.
Dracula.
Oh, yes.
There was at least 6 Draculas up there for sure.
It was competing between that and Close Encounters of the
Yeah.
Third Kind
There was
and
a
Countdown, actually.
Yeah.
There were a lot of those extra ones, too.
Yeah. Dracula had to be up. There was at least 6.
Sorry, this is referring to a major game buy we did about a mile down the road here in Tallahassee, Florida, where the operator's father placed 40 to 50 pinball games in the attic, and then built an A-frame above it. So they placed them there when they were still building the A-frame, put them on top of the roof, and then built the A-frame above, and then we had to lower them all out through a crawl.
Yeah. Then carry them on beams.
Oh,
Doing
that was
air
fun.
quotes, you can't see it, but here, maybe you can
In
hear
the
'em.
summer, in the Florida summer, that was our first big one. Remember?
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember the rat piss smell and
I lost 40 pounds of water weight
Yeah.
that day.
yeah, it was a lot of work, but got a lot of pins out of there
Yeah, we did.
and a lot of arcades too. So it was cool.
It's always cool. It's always fun, regardless of.
It's a cool
that,
story
so.
and a lot of work, but we got a lot of good stuff out of there. So I'm gonna cross these off the topic list.
Where you're letting everybody know your organizational secret for podcasting.
Organizational secret. Hey, 5 minutes before we record, what do you guys want to talk about? There's the secret. So we'll talk about some new stuff that came out at a Texas Pinball Festival. Some
That
of the
was
new
this
games.
past weekend,
It was this past weekend.
which means it's 3 months ago.
Yep.
Now that you're listening to this podcast.
Yep.
Oh, I just
Um,
thought you meant internet/pinside time and.
Oh no,
we're
It's
really
gonna take
slow
me-
on putting these
It's going
out.
to take forever for me to
Gotcha,
do this.
gotcha.
So some of the new games they had there, they're not maybe new, but people actually got to play them, was Jetsons by Spooky Pinball. They announced their Alice Cooper pin they're doing, which looks, hopefully will be cool. They had Houdini there, which I didn't know was going to be there.
That was nice looking.
It was pretty cool. The eyes kind of creeped me out a little bit, but
The eyes were a little creepy.
a little creepy. It
And I
reminded me of
wasn't-
like demonic Furby, even more demonic Furby.
Oh,
Why do you have to specify the demonic part of Furby?
Have you seen it?
Have you
Well,
ever
I mean,
owned
just
a
call
Furby?
it Furby.
That's what I said. Extra demonic.
Oh, okay.
They announced Elvira 3. Are they
Yeah.
calling it anything other than that, or
We don't know any details other
just
than it's
Elvira
in
3?
development.
Okay.
They missed an opportunity to call it like Elvira D, double D, something
Triple
like
D?
that. Triple D. There you go, triple D.
Or like they could have gone like really like stupid and like the internet like 3LVIRA. The stupid elite speak 3Vira.
They could. All we know is it's
God,
a
I hope they
new-
do that now.
It's a new Elvira game that is being made.
I mean, she hasn't had a bad game,
No?
right? I mean, she's been pretty lucky with that. So, they were actually playing in the tournament. They had what the hell was it? Scared Stiff, like a super nice
Yeah.
one.
It was very nice.
Oh, such a nice game.
I got to play that game here in town one time, and then it moved.
Rob found pieces of it
Yeah.
at a wigwam.
Oh,
We found the skeleton ramp cover.
ramp.
I think
I
we
still
only
have that.
finally got. Or did we keep
in
it?
the in lane.
Oh, that's right.
bones, too.
The
Yeah,
slingshot.
it's upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have. I think all the bones are like on a piece of fishing string. Or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's on
that's
a
how it
grounding
came.
wire or something.
It's on something goofy.
Yeah.
I remember Rob's digging through stuff and he's like, holds it up. I'm like, please tell me that's not a cat skeleton. Like he had just bones.
Well, this one is, but check out what's in my other hand.
Oh man.
There were a couple sad
Bird
stories in that one.
catch.
There was the what was the old Stern game that was just the cabinet, no play field. wasn't Sea Witch, but it was.
No, but a beautiful sea witch came from that place
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
nice
there
Sea
was a
Witch,
nice
but
Sea Witch
there
there.
was.
Was it Meteor? Was it?
No, what's
There
the
were a lot
other-
of meteors there.
I can picture it. It'll come to me. Never mind.
40 minutes later, Jared's gonna be like,
I'm gonna yell out
shout
the
it out.
game
And this is the part of the podcast that if we edited, you would not hear any of.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing any of that though. So we just basically I trim off the beginning and the end, and then there's your podcast.
It's like sirloin tips.
People, right? Yeah, you're not getting the filet mignon. So was that it for like the new game? Oh, they had dominoes there. I don't think any of us have got to play dominoes.
Okay,
yet.
so Jetsons looks really, really sparse, right?
Yeah,
I'm not the only one that.
No.
It's pretty.
It's basic, yeah, and it's a gorgeous looking game.
And did you see the pictures from Texas Pinball Festival?
I saw gameplay.
I saw
of it,
gameplay.
but I didn't
Because
see.
they had a flyer out.
Right.
They haven't changed dramatically the gameplay, but they did
Still
add
has one ramp.
some toys and some other things that filled out the game and made it look to me
More full.
better
It's still an
presentation.
open game though. It's still a very like basic.
It
I
is
don't
basic.
mind open games, but I mean, I guess my problem was it's got one ramp,
Yeah.
right?
It's got two.
That
I
didn't
think.
change, right?
I believe it has 2 molded ramps.
Yeah, it's got
proximate ramps.
one on the left and like one like center right. I think.
It just looked very like, and they're charging How much are they charging?
7, I think, is what they started.
Seven.
At.
7,000?
Was it 7? I can't remember.
I think they started at 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna need more ramps for 7,000. I mean, it doesn't. It's not like
Well-
ramps make the game, but
No, I understand.
I'm
You want
gonna
more. I
need
get it.
And the point behind the game, to be fair to Spooky and everything, it is a contract manufactured game.
Right.
So it's, and I apologize, I blank on the name of the company that it's being made for, but it's a big distributor that does a lot for home, game room. Somebody
Right.
wants one game.
Yeah.
And so their big thing is a family-friendly, easy-to-play game,
Yeah.
which it is.
Is this one American Pinball? Is that who this one
No,
is?
Spooky's making it, and it's being made for like the pinball company or
Ooh.
somebody
Gotcha.
you see on like Facebook that
Facebook.
advertises game
Right.
room sales, and so they want a family-friendly basic game. Now, I think with that being said, and the money they're wanting might not be where it's at for most people that are into the hobby,
Yeah.
just because they can look at something else they can get. But
Yeah.
the theme is killer. The one thing that got me watching gameplay, and it might just be because I grew up on the show, was it sounded off. And then I guess during some of the stuff, I did see that everything was re-recorded with voice actors. So like the theme,
Okay.
when you collect Judy or you collect Jane, his wife, and
Yeah.
the little theme song was re-recorded, so it's not exactly like I remember.
I
it,
gotcha.
it wasn't
For
like
that
so-
price, is there a button on a playfield you can hit that it folds up into a suitcase or like a briefcase for easy transportation?
Not that I'm aware.
That
of.
would justify it for me.
Like Iron Man 2's type briefcase.
Yeah, I mean, like in the jet, like with
Yeah,
his car, when he gets to work, he just hits the button and it's the briefcase, and he walks into work.
But once again, it just goes back to the yes. At 4, they could probably sell a lot more of them. But if they could make the same money selling
Yeah.
it at 6 and selling a lot less,
I
that
definitely
might
think
be
it's a
where
game
they're
that
at.
you're not really gonna ever get to play unless you know someone who buys one. Like kind of like Batman. It's they have one at Pinball Lounge, but I don't see a lot of. I see more people spending the money on a Batman than I do a Jetsons. But man, like I want to play that game so bad. Like I love the cartoon as a kid, and it is an open-looking game. Like I wouldn't spend that much money on, but I just want to play one because it looks.
And I
super
will.
fun.
I mean, I'm not busting on Spooky about this because you can say one thing about Spooky, and they found their little niche of they actually make games and they
They come
deliver
out.
them to people.
Yeah.
But I mean, they found their niche with making them for Domino's. Now they're making them for somebody else for Jetsons. So I mean, and I Rob Zombie was okay. I wasn't a big fan of it. Again, I just find a lot of their games just too empty.
Yeah.
I know, but Jared, I know you're a big fan of.
I love their
of
games.
stuff.
I haven't got to play anything other than AMH, which I love that game. I know a lot of people hate that game, but man,
I don't
love
get the
it. I
hate on
love
that
it.
game. I get the
Yeah,
of that
well,
game, but I
know
don't get
someone-
any hate on it.
I know someone who played it down in Replay, and when it was there, the elevator was shut off. Like a lot of the stuff was shut off on it, so you're playing half of a game.
Yeah.
And I told the person you should really if you ever see one play it because it's not an Aerosmith or it's not a Batman 66, but it is a very fun game, and the rule set's straightforward. It's not overly complicated to do these things.
But it's challenging.
It's very
challenging, and it does have more depth than you would think. I think at least, than a company that comes out with their first game. And
Yeah, especially for a first game. I thought it was incredibly solid for a first game. Cool backstory on it.
And now they got Alice Cooper
Yeah.
that they'll be coming out with, which I think they just showed art for the back glass, right? They didn't show.
I think
any
they just
playfield?
showed like a very. I mean, at least I had seen. Jared usually finds the hidden France leaked images and stuff. So I just saw like the announcement thing where it was like him and there was like electric coming out of his hands or
I
something.
got a
like
special
that.
call from Jersey Jack about that one time.
Didn't you like leak something?
I
or-
leaked Wizard of Oz pictures on the website that I had at the time called Pinball Head.
But you also leaked Transformers, right?
right?
Yeah, I didn't get a call about that.
Yeah, but Stern never sent you your gift package.
No, they didn't, those dicks.
Rob,
3.5 years now. I'm supposed to get some Star Trek merch, and
We don't
Rob-
hold grudges. Maybe just
I
a
do,
little
because
bit.
Jody hasn't sent me my stuff, and I contacted him like 12 times.
yeah, Rob used to run a website and he somehow.
This was unrelated to that, though.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
he accidentally found their WordPress site and someone didn't change their.
I didn't accidentally find it.
Well, someone didn't change the username and password outside of admin and password.
No, it's admin1234, which is the typical
The
WordPress.
default
Yeah.
So Rob got in and leaked some images of Transformers Pinball. I mean, realistically, that game didn't do that well anyway, so what are they crying about?
It looked pretty. It
Oh,
was just clunky as sin.
I love it because I'm a nerd for Transformers, but it also plays like the 80s cartoon music on it, which doesn't make sense, but it's still awesome. But
I'm just glad we can talk about Stern banning or screwing us like a real podcast at this point. Because every time I listen to, one of the other guys, they're always, Stern banned a bunch of people, including me, from their Facebook page because I questioned
Stern is a wonderful
the clear
company
code or,
because we have a game under warranty and we want to just get the Slimer part that we need without having to pay for it.
I'll make sure that I get that order in before I go ahead and
before we publish
post this guy. No, I mean...
Go ahead and order 3 of them. I mean, knowing their quality control.
Right.
How their parts break.
Anyways.
Okay, back to TPF.
Yeah, so I saw some gameplay of that. I saw some gameplay of Houdini, and that's Dutch pinball, or is that...
Oh, well, and before we go there, just one other thing
Yeah.
on Alice Cooper. I haven't seen anything else, but from reading, my understanding, it's not going to be a straight music pin. So
Okay.
it's Alice Cooper, Nightmare Castle. So it's more of a theme of
Like his stage show or something?
yeah,
Okay.
like
that could be pretty cool.
with some of his music integrated. So it's more of think of a Elvira type of a
So it's like you get a
like an experience with some
Tune
music
guitar
stuff.
mode. You get like a roadie.
And there's going to be like a decapitation for
Unload
sure.
the equipment.
Frankenstein
set up,
will be in it.
You know,
Well, like...
provide security to the front row.
One thing I'm hopeful for, which again I haven't played Rob Zombie, but I was really hoping for like Zombie Yeti art for that, like really colorful pop art, and we didn't get that. We got like the photorealistic.
I thought you were at Southern Fried.
No,
No,
I didn't go to
was.
Southern
Fried.
I was.
So that's what I was hoping for when they announced Rob Zombie, because like his old, he used to do all the art and everything. It was amazing, and we got whatever. I'm not a fan of it, but I wouldn't call it bad. But they showed the Alice Cooper, hopefully it's part of the art package because it looks like what I wanted for Rob Zombie. It's very cartoonish, almost Metallica, Dirty Donnie style
I
art.
believe it will be.
So I'm hoping it's like that because I think that kind of art is perfect for pinball. It's just that's what I want. I don't want
You want pulp.
Austin
You don't
Powers.
want Photoshop.
right. I don't want Austin Powers pinball art where it's just just awful.
No.
It's not
baby.
only a game; it's a piece of art. You
Yeah.
want something kind of original that
Yeah,
that ties
absolutely.
it in.
But we don't want anything like the 24 one where it looked like it was done in Photoshop for like
Well,
3 minutes.
it's that whole era.
There's a whole era. Of
that whole
Photoshop.
era of even the side
Avatar.
art, even the side art on pinball parties. Like someone found a wallpaper some dude made on DeviantArt and just like stretched it out. Like literally, that's what it is.
Well, and
It's-
really?
look at it. It's
I was
horrible.
about to say, I mean, I've looked at it and I was just going through looking at all the Simpson characters that are on it, but I didn't
The
realize.
logo
They
and
do.
Bart is good, but look at the
I was about to say, it
people.
does look like it is a stretched out image.
It's
You
it's
get-
no Street
It
Fighter
reminds me
2
of the-
pinball art.
Hey man,
Do you guys remember those
Hey, man.
like
That was legit.
watercolor coloring books where you just wet the brush and
Yeah.
then smeared the paint? That's what it
Yeah.
looks like.
Well,
at least
they-
Street Fighter 2, the logo was good. Mine was the pile of garbage, but
I mean,
we're not
how
talking
can
about
you?
Chun-Li.
No, you can't mention it without. That's the first thing
I'm
your
talking
mind goes
cabinet
to.
art. I'm
is
not talking
Chow Chung Li.
back glass. Cabinet art was solid.
Not yours.
No. Mine didn't even really have cabinet art. It was kind of like it used to, and it got submerged.
Trying to keep the streak alive of getting a mention for Street Fighter 2
I
pinball
forgot
on every
about that.
podcast.
It actually was
4 for
sold.
4.
It was sold, so we have to shoehorn that in going forward. Chris sold it and got a Doctor Who.
Not an equal trade.
No. No. I'm not a huge fan of Doctor Who, but come on. It's a much better game than Street Fighter was. So we were going back to Houdini, right?
Yep.
So they actually had some gameplay of it, and it looked pretty cool. The funniest thing I saw was someone said if Aerosmith is a free throw, Houdini is a half-court shot, which in reference to the distance that frickin' ball launches, it is so far compared to freaking Aerosmith. And Aerosmith, again, it missed a lot. But I'm wondering how good or bad that mech is going to be or hold up on Houdini.
We'll see.
Was Houdini the one that was using Data East parts?
Not that I'm aware of. So this was the one that was revealed, and the design was J-pop, as far as I know. And
hopefully that's where the association ends.
Well,
or good luck ever playing one.
And then all that stuff was going down, and they were coming to that realization that they had kind of been given a play field that was really pretty with some lights, but I don't think it was ever going to be able to actually play. It wasn't a flipping.
You're not talking about Magic
game.
Girl?
No,
it's so hard to keep these straight.
It was similar.
That's page 2. Let's not jump ahead.
So what we saw there was the first unveil of basically a brand new game. Some of the pieces may have been similar, but as far as I know, none of the art transferred over. That was all almost a new design, which is kind of surprising because it hasn't been but a couple months since we saw previous stuff, and they were basically like, we're going back to the drawing board. So to come up with basically what a flipping full game.
Were the rails like gold, or was that just my eyes playing tricks on me? Because it looked almost like a steampunk.
Brass.
Yeah, it looked like a steampunk kind of feel to it.
Something like that. I didn't get.
I looked at it. It was pretty,
yeah.
but I didn't really. I saw it in passing, so I can't really speak too much on it. But I liked the touches. It looked like you had like the full iron shackles on the play field, on the pop bumpers, and stuff like that. It looks awesome. It looked really nice, but probably the most gorgeous game I've ever seen
is Magic Girl.
It's Magic Girl.
Like that game is, like you can't play it.
Right. It literally is what like people buy pinball games for like the art, and they go like, oh, I bought this game. It's home use only. I've had it for 8 years. It's got 12 plays on it. You're like, what? How can you have 12 plays on something?
Like our friend in Jacksonville's home use only Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Man?
But if it was a Magic Girl, I'd be like, oh yeah, because you couldn't play it more than 12 times.
That's people that make that argument about art, where art is only art if it's only to be art, or it can't be used for anything else. That's a perfect description.
That's
of
a
Magic
dumb
Girl.
argument.
Well, that's not my argument. It's just people make the argument that something is only art if it's made for that purpose. Perfect example. Because that game is freaking gorgeous.
It is.
And everything I hear about it is just. Yeah, you just don't turn it on. You just look at it and appreciate it for what it is.
The one user that made the video for Pinside, I forget what his name is.
I forget.
But it's shocking how, it's got that third level, but there's no literal way for the ball to actually get up there. There's not been any mechanism created for it or included in it or magnet or anything to deliver the ball up to that upper play field. It exists, but it's untouched, like an abandoned playfield in a pinball game.
Did they ever document, like, originally how they were going to make that happen?
Yeah, so...
So do you think people will modify their games to make that happen? That's a lot of money.
They'd have to get the... I don't think the mech was ever designed as a production piece.
See, so this is where you get into some of the weeds, and I don't know all the stuff. Those videos, I think, were put up by Kaneda.
Yeah, I think so.
Or I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but...
Kaneda!
There were a couple prototype games that were shipped out that were different in some respects than the other 20 that were, built and sent out. There are several places, my understanding, where magnets were supposed to go, where other mechs were supposed to go, that John at some point was mentioning that they wanted to go ahead and get the game out, and then in future... conceively you could
fix that with code.
So they're gonna send the goodie bag like after like a year. Hey, it's 1 year since your anniversary. Here, have the rest of your parts.
Well, I think the thought was, give me another $500 and here's.
Great. So it's microtransaction the pinball.
Exactly. So
hot DLC.
That's the weird thing. The code is apparently in there. So the code was frozen back when the guy had originally made it. The coder was working on it still. I don't think they changed anything. If you look in the audits, The serial numbers still match that original game
Yeah.
he did. The play count is through the roof on a new in-box game because it's that just a
copy
copy
paste.
of that code that was on that prototype
They
machine.
didn't clear the audit?
So no, that's my understanding. Now I don't know if that's
Too much
a,
work, man.
if you might not be able to clear the audit
It's not in the
in this
program.
early code because it had stopped at some point. in
That'll be
production.
$25.
Microtransaction, there you go. So my understanding is some of the code is there, and the coder's been on Pinside, and he's gone through it and try to figure out. And
It looked like the coder did a great job. Like
Right.
everything's in there.
so conceivably, you could put a magnet in there, wire it up, and it would be functioning because the code is there.
It looks like they removed like $800 worth of mechs and parts from the playfield.
Correct.
So-
There are some that wouldn't be there. There's star rollovers and things that are missing and stuff that you couldn't just drop in. But there are some things that I believe are just drop in. And
What was
I
the original
also-
idea to get it up there though? Is it just like a kiss?
there is
magnet,
a
or?
you can actually get it up there. Is my understanding. There is a hole with a kick up
Okay.
that will kick it up there. It can only be activated in test mode though. So you have to physically drop the ball in there and then into a place that I don't think you can get it to, and then it will kick up.
Holy
but there are
frick.
no magnet. There's supposed
Bully,
to
bully
be
for you,
magnet
bully.
flippers, but there's no magnets to then do anything with it
Right.
once it's up there.
Yeah,
It
it's
basically
it's
just-
kind of like
just kicks up. So,
the Shadow or any of the or like
Right.
Twilight Zone,
yeah.
but
Okay.
they didn't actually include it.
Oh my god.
So-
So
yeah, so
How much
stuff
that
like
game?
that.
10 grand?
It was more than that. Yeah,
Really?
it was
somebody was selling
Who
theirs
would buy that
for
secondhand knowing this?
18.
I think
Holy-
I want to say people were in for 15,
Yeah.
and that's with the lawsuit. Now, don't quote me on that because I wasn't in it. This was not something. It was just peripheral that I was kind of looking at. So, but people were then flipping new in box for 18, 20,
How many did they make?
stuff like that. So
10?
25, I think, total, including the prototype.
Originally, it was supposed to be about 15.
And I think
when they
it got
first
bumped up.
announced
I
it.
think it got bumped up a little bit.
Did it get bumped
but-
up after the new company finished it, or?
Got bumped up after they're like, oh, we don't have enough money to make a game after selling just 15, so we'll bump it up. So that was like the first
Wow, man.
level
But-
of.
yeah. But
That's
But the coder never, he hasn't gotten one. Zombie Yeti never got, saw anything from it.
weren't you telling me that the coder from that now works at Stern or Spooky or something like that?
He is now working for Spooky, so.
And you were saying that they had promised his wife he'd get a paycheck.
Because apparently he worked for J-Pop some and basically saw nothing from it, and he also worked for
Flipping Great Pinball is interesting.
the Predator project. So you get J-Pop and Predator, and both kind of tanked, and so I can understand him being a little wary of it and stuff. But I guess he's working for Spooky now. and
Predator
does
looked pretty
stuff,
awesome.
so.
Predator was just a licensing issue. They thought, hey, well, let's make a game based on this wonderful franchise and never get licensing for it.
Well-
No one will ever find out.
Well, that
Yeah,
coupled
about
with
that.
no ability to actually, produce the games. I mean, I don't know what he was going to do.
Yeah, didn't he
Him-
just make that in his garage?
Him sitting in his garage making a one-off is different than assembly line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. We don't need to go on, I guess, too much with the woes of the hobby, because there are some more
Dude.
good things to talk about from TPF that I think the hobby overall is.
You actually
a
turned me on
positive spin,
to Total Annihilation.
Yeah,
which
Total Annihilation was
I'm
there,
hoping
so-
they put that game in there because it's basically a Kung Fury pinball. It's. You told me about it, and just hearing you, I'm like, this isn't gonna be that good.
And you saw it, and you're like, I might fork
It's
over.
even as just being a white with no art, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks like it's almost done. It's fully playable at least.
Fun concept, fun.
Have you seen that one yet?
I haven't, but does it have a Tron, like the Tron arcade mod, but with the one that
Well, it's
shoots
not-
the bird lasers?
It's not actually Kung Fury. I wish it was,
that's
but
too
it's
bad.
just like that same theme of post-apocalyptic 80s kind of
80s, and then you're going into the
Ultra-violence.
future to prevent. Basically, the story goes is you're in the 80s, and in the future they invented
Which is the
backwards
90s.
time travel or
Yeah,
whatever.
so in the
And
90s.
So they came back, and so to prevent that in the 80s, you're going forward to destroy that civilization. Just some
Sorry,
good
90s.
features. There's some the ball lock is a set of smart drop targets that. So you hit it up, and then the drop target pops up, and now your ball's locked. And you
Oh,
can
so it's like
you
T2,
can-
but T2's a dumb ball lock, whereas this is a smart one.
So,
Okay.
you've got a bank of, like stack drop targets, like there's 3 or 4, and you lock them, and then, behind each one, it kind of stacks them up. And, simple play field. There's no ramps on it. I mean, it's a single level, like a
Rob's out
Gottlieb
already.
Street level game. But,
Rob's done.
Well, what's the price point on it?
So it's just a one-off. It's a P-Rock project that
The guys
Scott
made.
Denisi has made, and they were streaming on Dead Flip the other night, and
I think
Spooky
they
said
brought
that
the
they're
TPF, didn't
yeah
they?
they did.
Yeah.
Spooky said hey we've let him know we're interested. It's a neat game, but we don't know if economics would work or
Yeah, I mean,
what's
I
gonna
don't
happen.
know what outside of like art and probably just like producing, it probably wouldn't cost much. I mean, unless he wants to charge through the roof for it.
No, I mean it would just be the production. They said you lift the playfield, it's just like any other game that they're making. I mean the mechs and
So yeah, it looks
all
like it just
adds
needed
up.
art, and it was done. Like, I mean, yeah, it's not as polished as a big box manufacturer as far as like the display and everything, but it looked fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, just cost wise, I think it would be another standard fair game. It wouldn't just because it's single level doesn't mean they drop $2,000 off the price.
I just realized something. We have the last Stern DMD game.
Yeah.
That should be a value increase right there.
Well, also it's very good. So there's that. I don't want to go back to Ghostbusters.
Sorry.
It's a love letter to DMDs. I'll say it.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
back
nice.
to TPF.
Okay, so did we got a kind of off a
So
tangent on Houdini.
We talked about Jetsons, Houdini. We talked about Elvira 3, Dominoes, Alice Cooper. The last one I had here for TPF was the Pitchin' Bats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Return to the Pitching Back. Zombie, was it Zombie All Star? Zombie
Zombie All Stars, I think.
Baseball. Okay.
It
And that's
honestly-
that's a Zombie Yeti art package too.
Yeah, it reminded me of Mutant League Football, but baseball, which is probably the best game on Sega Genesis. Even better than Sonic the Hedgehog, but
So I mean, this thing looks awesome.
Yeah.
I like how it's got the updated art package, but all of the mechs and the way they're doing it is like pure '60s
yeah. See,
pitching bats. With the runners that run the base that pop up
Yeah.
and rotate around and then pop down when they get
Yeah.
close to the base, and it's just
I'll admit, I came in today and I just kind of saw pictures of it, and I thought someone just had 2 of them, like they were in an old game, and someone just restored one, and someone just like converted.
like did
one.
an art package.
Yeah,
on
like
it.
that's it. Literally looks like it's out of the '60s. Like it's awesome. Outside of the LCD.
art.
Oh yeah, and I thought the same thing. I mean, I was looking around on Pinside to try to figure out like, okay, what's the deal with this?
Yeah.
And,
I didn't realize it was a brand new game.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
awesome.
just a little background for people that don't know. I guess it's Dennis Nordman's company, and it's Gizmo Game Design, GizmoGameDesign.com. I don't think there's pricing out yet, but there is a classic baseball theme version, and then the zombie with zombie Yeti art.
And according to Zombie Yeti, he did the art for this one before he did Ghostbusters, before he did any other stuff. So, well, I don't know about Magic Girl and all, but this was something that had been
They've been
a
working
while.
the legality of Magic Girl.
So
since
hopefully
the
that
90s.
means they've been shoring up all the financials and making sure that it actually can be produced and all that. It's a cool concept to bring that back. I can't wait till they try to bring back like the 3D shooter.
Yeah, like the old EM, like
I
the
still want a
Funhouse.
gun game. I still want an EM
They're
gun
cool,
game
man.
bad. Like
Those go for so much now. They're pretty expensive, aren't
they've
they?
gone up a lot lately.
Like the only one I'd ever really want is like Haunted House or like the UFO one.
Arctic Gun's pretty cool. The
They've
Haunted
got-
House one's nice.
They've got a Vietnam one down in Stop and Play. Like it's a
Really?
yeah, it's like a Vietnam themed one where like you shoot, like you have a machine gun, but you're shooting like tanks and like planes and stuff out of it. But it's
All
actually
of
pretty
those are so cool because they did the angled mirror.
cool. Yeah.
So you're looking at the back box, and it's the same. It's a little deeper than an arcade cabinet, but your field of vision is about like 5 feet.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're looking back into this thing, and it's like 5 feet back from where you're looking, and it's really cool. All those mechanisms are at the very bottom of the machine, and the same technology they've been doing since the 50s and everything. It's just whoever started that stuff is amazing.
It's
to me.
ingenious. Like it's really just you look at it and you're like, oh, that's really complicated, but it isn't. Like it's awesome.
Oh, it's really complicated,
But I
but
mean,
the
like,
execution is so well
That's
done.
what I'm saying. Like it's a not a complicated idea. Like okay, we're gonna like use mirrors, but what they did with it is freaking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's unbelievable. So I think that was all we have from TPF, right? Do we want to talk about anything else?
Didn't we have Bride of Pinball?
Oh man.
I mean, wasn't
Can we
that?
not?
Didn't that come from TPF too?
I'm gonna just cross that off. I don't even talk about it. Like Bride of Pinbot. That's
Bride
another game.
of Pinbot. Is it Ellie? Is that what it's
I thought it was
officially?
just
Anniversary
I think it is
edition?
it's anniversary, but I thought it was Super Ellie.
Super
It's like
Turbo?
Super Ellie.
Because they have Bride of Pinbot 2.0 with the D&D add-on.
Yeah.
And then they've got this gross ass thing.
All new art, man.
Which, to be fair, 2.0, it's fun. I mean, Bride Pinbot, adds a DMD, but adds a lot of fun elements to the game.
I
love
think in
playing
this
it.
context, we are purely talking about the art.
Yeah, I'm
well,
sure the
of the
gameplay's
new one.
sick.
Of the new one,
Of
yes.
the new one. I was talking about 2.0, just straight. They did good with that.
Well, going back, like
So-
even the
Yeah.
original BOP, a lot of people hate that game because a lot of the playfield's covered up. So you've already got like a mixed emotion of, I hate that game or I love that game. I like it. Like I
like
love
it.
all the cheesiness of it. I love the sound. I love the whole mech and everything. So then they did 2.0, which a lot of people were, pinball purists are upset by it. But I think it's a cool idea. Like it doesn't break anything.
No.
You're just changing it out. I haven't got to play to it. Have you guys played it?
I played 2.0.
Okay, where'd you play it at? Like Southern Fried or?
Yeah, I guess it would have been
I
Southern
don't
Fried.
think it was this
Yeah.
last year's.
Yeah, I played it with Steven. Yeah.
Okay,
Played it
cool.
with
I
Steven.
totally missed it, though.
Yep. So it was fun. I mean, it's a blast. You can play original rules or you can play the new rules.
And then they get the original voice actors to do the new call-outs or something?
Sounds.
I thought I remember
might
like
be
reading
right,
something
but
that they had
I'm
hired her to
not really
do
sure.
more stuff for it.
But it's got a lot of neat features. I mean, there's online, scoreboards, and online you can actually log
That's so
into
cool.
somebody's game and watch their DMD animation live online as they're playing, and so you can see it switch between players. I mean,
That's cool.
There's some phenomenal technology in it. It's a fun game. It's great. I loved it. If you already had a Bride from back in the day, it would be a great upgrade. It's hard now with the prices that I see for Bride to then sink in another
But
12 or
that's
15
why.
for it.
I mean, that's why it went up so much.
Right.
Just like
Yeah, because of that, yeah.
a couple of years ago, Dolly Parton pinball games were going through the roof because they made a conversion kit for it. I forget what it was converting it to, but like all of a sudden that's a game that's taken off. Now you can't. I mean, 10 years from now, I wonder how hard it'll be to actually find an un-DMD'd Bride of Pinball
know.
2.0.
There's a lot of people that still I see with it, and they don't convert it just because it's another $1,200-$1,500, whatever the cost of it is. And if you enjoy the game, like Adam said, nowadays, I mean, it's not a cheap game anymore. I mean,
What is it,
nothing's
like
a cheap
$2,000
game
now for-
anymore. But
Is more than that now? For a stock Bride? What do they go for now?
I think they go 22, 24.
Wow.
so
I remember
Or at least
seeing when
I haven't seen one for sale, and of course this is regional. I mean,
Right.
But it seems like the last time I saw one, it was a bit over 2,000. It wasn't like 2,000 even.
yeah, so that's why.
And they used to be.
I remember seeing
800.
800. I was.
I
thinking,
remember seeing them for like 12 and 14 when I first started getting.
Yeah, I think
pinball.
when I started collecting, which was probably about 7 or 8 years ago, it was right around $800.
Wow. That's
And, your
crazy.
pinbots are 400, 500.
Yeah.
Your
Not
Firepowers
anymore.
are 300.
So now that being said, we can discuss the super limited edition,
Oh, boy.
which the art can be discussed. I guess the plan is they're going to
Not do it? That'd be
sell 150 or so
Nope.
of these, or 100
Nope.
of them, or something like that.
Okay,
And then,
I've got to speak up now
um,
and say I'm a person that has not seen this art.
Good, stay that way.
I'm jealous.
Really? Is it that bad?
Bless your little
Penny?
heart. Be that way. Say, keep
Bride
it
of
up.
Pinbot, whether you like it or not, is an iconic pinball game. It's got iconic art on it. Python Angeli did it, right? He did the.
Yeah.
So like you have arguably one of the better pinball artists. Like has this iconic thing, and then they show this, and it's just, oh man.
It looks airbrushed.
It looks bad.
It's done like with silvers and blues and
It
like
looks like someone did it
yellows
on a Mac 2E in Kid Pix. Like it's
Yeah.
horrible.
yeah.
Like it's really not good.
And
I'm
it's
not
like,
an
oh
artist.
man, this doesn't look too good. Like where you can see it, so let's blur the hell out of it. And
I'm just not a fan. I'm sure maybe there's someone who likes it, but most of the people I know, I know someone who's super into Bride of Pinball. It's like their favorite game, and they're just not into it.
and,
either.
Does
and
she
they got
keep
rid
her
of all
iconic
the
pose, though?
space.
Yeah, I mean, like the pose. I mean, it's
Well,
you
even
look at it,
that's
and you can
kinda-
tell it's Bride of Pinball. It's just to me, it's poorly done. okay.
It looks Metropolis to me. It looks like
looks
something out of Metropolis.
It was always bordering on that anyways, and now they just kind of pushed it over.
Well, but I mean, before it was a space sci-fi. There's no space on it now. There's no shuttles. There's no astronauts. They're not building her in space. They're not. They had all that element to it as well before.
Yeah.
Including some pretty funny, suggestive, art pieces that were incorporated into the anatomy. But now it just looks. I don't know. It looks like something on a Walmart shirt that I'd see airbrushed in Panama City Beach, Florida.
I don't even think I'd buy the shirt with that on it.
No, of course I wouldn't.
It's just not. I don't know what they were thinking, man.
Or Daytona Beach. Get it on the pier.
I mean, they were thinking, let's
do it.
Well,
awful.
Well, I mean,
Nailed it.
Let's look at what Bride of Pinbots are going for nowadays, and it's conceivable that we can sell a game, and
Well, again, it's
the
not
big fault that you see is the art package.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we're not talking about anything else in this
and
context.
the $12,500 price tag.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Is that really the price?
It's a Super LE edition. So the thought process is sell these.
You said $12,000.
No, he said 12,500.
Holy!
The 500's for the cape. That's what makes it the Super LE.
Oh my God!
Is sell through these.
Oh my God!
If it's a viable product, then they would do a standard basically that's cheaper. I think at this point with the stuff going on with Big Lebowski, which most people listening to this probably know about it, but they've
How much
shipped
is that
some
game?
games. Some other games are being held kind of in hostage by their contract manufacturer, and
What the hell's going on with pinball, man?
There's just some issues going on with it. So
How much is Lebowski?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I want to say it was around 10, but I can't exactly remember.
God, that's
It was
ridiculous.
But Lebowski's got a lot going on for it. I mean,
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, that game looks amazing. That was another one I watched a lot of it. TPF, they had a stream on it, and it looks good.
Yeah, so it is what it is, and we'll see what happens.
12.5. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's 3 good Sterns.
Now, wait 4 years. And it's probably 1 good Stern.
Well,
Yeah.
with
I mean, they just
Batman
went up.
66,
Batman 66 and Aerosmith. They went
Well,
up.
Batman, wasn't that like a LE thing or something?
Batman
it was like closer
was higher because they were really kind of focusing it on home collectors and things overall. Not that people wouldn't put it on location, but it wasn't. It was kind of a test bed for their new
platform
and kind of their new stuff. But I think part of that was, hey, let's get people used to a little bit higher price tag and see how high we can eke this up and go.
I mean, their strategy since opening.
Yeah. So I've been lucky enough to actually play Batman and Aerosmith, and I will say this: I think Batman is gorgeous. It's an absolutely beautiful pinball machine. Like the art on it, like the side art, the playfield art, even the little like Easter eggs and stuff in it is phenomenal. Gameplay wise, compared to Aerosmith, as of today, Aerosmith is a much better pinball machine. Like I'm not an Aerosmith fan even in the slightest as far as their music, but that game was a lot of fun. But you can also tell that both of those games, the code is nowhere near being done. I almost bricked an Aerosmith on day 1 updating the code. Forgot about that little gem. That's when I text Jared. I'm like, hey, are you up? So I wanted to see. Yeah, I wanted to see if you had a trick for me.
Was that when they started? Because I know recently they kept you used to be able to just put the file on the thumb drive, but now you have to unzip it and then do something.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So the file, the code update was almost 4 gigs first off, which is ridiculous for a code. Usually it's like a couple hundred megs or smaller than that, right?
I want to say the last one I updated was X-Men.
That was
and
a
it
big
was
one too, and that wasn't even that big.
Yeah, but it was like 8 gig, maybe.
Yeah, right,
It was
right.
like 900 something
That
megabytes.
was I think that was the biggest one I'd ever seen, because Ghostbusters code updates are like 50 megs.
By the way, that X-Men code update,
Oh yeah,
the best code update ever when it
For
comes
sure.
to making a game so much better.
for sure. That it completely changed.
And
that.
wasn't it years later? I mean,
It was a while.
It was a while later.
At
yeah.
least a year.
But that's where they added Deadpool
It
and
made it
did a
so
bunch
much
of other
better.
stuff to it.
But Batman, we a guy in town bought one, and again, it's stunning to look at it. Like it's just gorgeous. But we played it, and there was a huge. I'm gonna call it a design flaw. Patrick played one down, and he said that he didn't notice it, but the bat cave in the middle turns when you do stuff. So there's a phone shot, and there's like a little tower thing or something like that. and the ball kept getting stuck when you shoot up the middle when the phone is facing you, it would get stuck. And like I don't see that being a code fix because it was wedged between two pieces of hardware. Now, luckily, the ball search is fast on it, but that still shouldn't be a game design. Outside of that, though, you can tell that like a lot of the art's still placeholder. It's not done. You see the same video file kind of repeat itself a lot. As far as like the city and the little
spitting
stuff
bets symbol.
Yeah, like that. And but if they keep working on that game, it's such a good theme for like pinball. Like when you get into the multi-ball, every time you hit, like rather than like a super jackpot, it's like bam, piff, pow, and it's just like it makes you smile. Like I again, it was new pinball, shiny kind of feelings towards it. Like I just kind of fell in love with it. But Aerosmith, I went into it like, all right, this is going to be Metallica 2.0, not in a good way. Just like this is a music pin. Okay,
It's
here we go.
Rehash of.
But it's a lot of fun, man. Like the mech, I guess I think you were telling me about it with the learning coil that when it shoots when the ball locks into the toy box launch thing, the little drop part. Apparently, the game knows that when it shoots it knows if it goes in the box or not.
Gotcha.
So what happens is if it goes in, cool, your ball is there, kicks out another ball. And what they're saying is if it launches and it misses, it knows, okay, next time I need to shoot the ball harder or softer or whatever it is, and it learns that way. And even if the ball shoots and it misses it, it counts as being in the lock. So that was pretty cool. I like the whole like wager system on your multi-ball. So basically, like when you get 3 in there, it gives you the option when you lock the 4th ball. Do you want to have 3-ball multi-ball? And if you do, you just let it ride and you play your 3-ball. Or you can press the lockdown bar button and cancel it and try to get more balls in there. So, I don't know if it adds bonus or whatever, but obviously it just adds more balls to the multi-ball.
Yeah, I think there's the more balls you have playing, is higher your X
value.
percentage.
Okay. So you can do that. One thing that was hard for me to pick up on was there's a lot of different colors on the screen, and being colorblind, it was hard for me to kind of figure out where they were. But a lot of it is like, it's funny because Dan bought one and he thought it was like a speaker icon. I'm like, it kind of looks like a piece of cheese to me. And he's like, no, it's a speaker. I'm like, okay. Well, I guess they had an album called like Rats in the Attic or something, and there's a freaking spinner that has a piece of cheese on it. So you hit the spinner, and every time it spins, it counts up on it. I'm like,
it was Toys in the Attic.
It's Toys in the Attic.
Or whatever it is. It's something to do with rats, and like every time you hit this piece of cheese, it counts up on there. And I guess it counts down at times too to like get closer to 0 or something. It's like I couldn't understand it. I was trying to figure it out.
I think that was their hit song, "Rats All Folks."
I don't know. It has something to do with friggin' rats. But the other thing that was cool is the little jester head. Apparently, at random times, I don't know if it's random or what, but you lock the ball and it's going to go kick it into the launch box, and it just closes. And so it doesn't give you the lock even though it thinks it does, but it hits the jester in the head and it interacts with the screen. So it goes like, and like it closes and like the screen like shows him like getting hit in the head and stuff. So it's really cool how it's like interacting more with the DMD and kind of the gameplay itself.
Do you pick up on that when you're playing though?
Well, my problem with it was when I first started playing the game, all I wanted to do was look at the screen. Because it's like, the art is straight up Metalocalypse looking, and it's funny because Brendan Small does the voice of the Jester or whatever, which is just super funny to me. The animation's kind of, it's the same thing we talked about before. It looks like they just took like a picture and like added motion to it later. Like
it looks
To
like
me, look like 90s Flash.
Flash
kind of.
Newgrounds.
Yeah, like that,
Stuff.
or like I said last time, like the Max cartoon on MTV, where like they took a comic book cell and they kind of made it move a little bit.
Late 90s Adam films.
Yeah, like it's a super fun game though. They did a really good job with it. It's just I'm not a huge Aerosmith fan, so I can't say if it's super great or not. Because again, it was just new shiny pinball. Like, oh wow, this is really fun. I haven't seen this before.
So Jared, have you played Batman?
No, I haven't played.
Adam, you're the only one that's played.
Christy's played it and Steve's
Okay.
played it.
By
the way,
who
we're
cares
all-
about Steve?
He's not here. We all have an invite to go back over there whenever you guys want.
So I want to do like the when you go to the eye doctor and they're like, okay, this one or this one. So is it or either one of those better than Metallica? From a gameplay perspective, not from an animation art.
I don't know, man. Batman's not. I think as of today, no. With code and like fleshing the game out, Aerosmith probably could be.
Ghostbusters?
I like Ghostbusters better than Metallica, but
Okay. Mustang.
yeah,
Both.
yeah.
Mustang's not a bad game, man. It gets ragged on, but it's
It's not a great game either. It's just it's not for me.
Kiss.
Come on.
I'm trying to give Adam an aneurysm right here.
Yeah.
Or aneurysm.
Kiss was Adam's
Aneurysm,
game
yeah,
for-
there you go.
Dude, I want
A little
a
bit.
Kiss so hard. It's such a fun game, but I know I love Cheese Rock and I love Kiss, so I know that's the theme speaking out to me. Like that game has problems, like the whole Gene Simmons.
You like
"Whoa."
cheese rock so much you're seeing pieces of cheese on Aerosmith.
Dude, I swear to God, that is a cheese spinner. It is a freaking cheese spinner. I don't know. I'd probably say gameplay is better on Aerosmith than Kiss, but I like Kiss more. But that's just me.
Lord of the Rings.
No. No. That's the best pinball machine ever made.
All right. Well, at least that provides a
One of
little
the
bit
worst
context.
teams, but one of the best pinballs ever made.
WWF.
Oh, man. God.
Avengers.
Is Steve here? Is he going to punk me?
Oh man, those are like my favorite games.
Dude, I don't think he liked WWE, but he liked Avengers. I don't know why. That game is... Steve, you got problems, man. You
He's
got
not even
problems,
here to
buddy.
defend himself. But
He doesn't need to be. That pin is just bad. Even like the Hulk LE was bad. Like,
Yeah.
there's no saving that pin.
So I did have a question on Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I haven't played it, but I was skeptical on the upper play field, the little single
Mm-hmm.
flipper. Didn't seem like much was going on, but I have since heard on other podcasts that it's actually not that bad. It does what it's supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's nothing like that part of the game wasn't like anything new. It was just like an upper playfield with a flipper on it. But like, I my favorite thing on the game, honestly, as dumb as it is like the waterfall mech for your multi-ball. Like the little toy box, it traps all the balls in it, and then it literally just lifts up and they like rain out. I don't know why it's such a cool looking thing. Like little stuff like that. Like the art looks great. The pinball is beautiful. Like the art is just awesome. There's a lot of hidden stuff in it, like Sparky's hidden in it from Metallica. There's a lot of cool stuff like that, but upper playfield was, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't anything like
But it wasn't
it's
a
good
glaring disappointment or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't say like it's a waste,
Right.
but it was all right.
Yeah, and then I've heard too, tournament play. Generally, they've been disabling the physical ball lock because if you lock, you know,
I did
if you
lose
lock
a ball to it.
Well, if you lock 5 balls, you know, you decide to go for it, and you know you're trying to lock that 6th ball, and you drain. Well, the next person, if they go for a 2-ball multi-ball, there's no more balls in the trough
Right.
if they've got 5 or 6 up there, so it's got to dump out all those to give you a 2-ball.
Yep.
Though really you're now getting a
6
free
or whatever,
6-ball.
yeah.
So that's the only
I mean,
negative to that. But
I definitely think that game was made, like tournament was not the main focus of it because, like you said, like it's I'm not gonna call it a design flaw. It's just like a tournament design flaw. Like you said, you know, you can't have. It's kind of like Strange Science, where when you lock, if you lock all those balls and the person comes up behind you, well, guess what?
Yoink.
Yep. That's
well,
the only. That's the only way we
sometimes
beat
that's on
Sunshine,
purpose.
by the way.
But
Because she stacked all of the balls. Sorry, Sunshine.
They should know all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely, it's fun though, man. It is a super fun game. So I actually got to play 2 of them. Dan had got one, and the guy that we got Ghostbusters from got one. Out of the box, his the seam, like the corner, was like splitting.
Ooh.
So he contacted Stern, and they're like, oh, well, you need to contact the shipper, right, or whatever. The shipper, I'm not joking, basically, he's like, oh, well, I'll come back out and glue it and clamp it for you.
Oh.
And he's just like, no, you won't. Like, I just paid a lot of money for this. Like, we're getting this resolved. I don't know what happened with it. I'd imagine he got another game shipped out to him. 'Cause I would
think
not.
so.
I would not.
Tune in
that
next
should
time.
should
Yeah.
be covered under insurance.
Oh,
Makes
real
sense.
quick on Batman, though, the best thing, not really the best, one of the cool things about it, when you pull the back glass out, there's an Easter egg. Batman comes on, he's like, always be careful when working on pinball machines. And I, because I wanted to see the board, and I was just, everyone in the room was just like, it was just awesome. It was such a cool little
I
thing.
haven't heard that.
Aerosmith didn't have one, which kind of bummed me out, but I was hoping it'd be like a thing that they continuously did.
Yeah.
But man, was that freaking cool to hear just a goofy little. I don't know how they did that. There's got to be like a switch or something up there.
Probably a rocker switch, kind of like Doctor Who had, where it disabled the solenoids on the
okay.
playfield or disabled the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
expander.
It's oh man, it made me smile to see
Yeah,
that.
but
But yeah, Patrick played one somewhere, and he said that his ball didn't get stuck at all on that. So I don't know if it's just...
And it didn't seem like the physical mech had any problems. I mean, spinning and everything was fine.
It was perfect.
Alignment was good.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only gameplay issue we had. And it was funny because I'm like, yeah, I've noticed that it does this. Steve goes up, literally 2 seconds later, it gets stuck in the same spot. So it wasn't a me thing, or it wasn't like your wife thing who breaks every pinball she touches.
Yeah.
It was just, oh, okay. And again, I don't know if that can be moved, because obviously I wasn't going to touch the guy's game.
Right.
But
I just didn't know, like Rob said, was it something where it, misaligned and it's rotating too far or something? I've just heard several anecdotally like, oh, hey, we got it, opened up new inbox and, the mech was broken or it had a problem.
No,
and we had
everything...
to get it swapped out. So
everything else seemed to work fine.
Because it's a pretty advanced mech and, what it's doing and everything. So.
Christy played it too. I mean, was there anything on that game that you didn't like?
No.
I'm
going to steal it from that guy's house. I'm going to sneak up there.
This will be the first edit that we do.
Congratulations, we just got the confession on tape.
Gotcha. No, what were some things you liked on it? Cool.
Literally everything.
What about the price tag?
But okay, besides the price tag.
Yeah, it's expensive. I also didn't know too that I guess every machine has a dedicated
That was probably my favorite part.
Card on
the
it.
card.
Some are dedicated to episodes.
Card.
Some are dedicated to bat gadgets or something.
So you played a Super LE then?
I don't know. I played one that had a card on it.
Did it have the topper?
It didn't have the bat logo thing on it.
I thought.
Well, no, the cockpit one with Batman and Robin.
I took a picture of it.
Because I just saw Patrick just unboxed the LE yesterday at Seapins.
Yeah, that one had the cool freaking bat.
And I said Super LE. Maybe it was just the LE. I thought there was only a certain set that had the
Super
card.
LE is just a private pinball.
Right. No, they did have remember it was shoot a video for Stern's Facebook.
Well, that was
jump through some hoops and then we'll decide if you
it was the
of
same process to get a Ford GT, which is probably where Gary Stern
I
got it from.
I put in for one. I didn't get picked to get a Ford GT.
You have to prove yourself worthy.
I didn't do that.
And then if you buy one and decide to sell it, Stern gets to buy it back for a certain price.
Theirs didn't have a topper on it.
Okay, so I think that's just a regular. It's not one of the ones where you had to sell your firstborn to get.
I don't know, but
well, you might have, but
yeah, you can see it here. On the apron, there's a little trading card thing on it.
No,
I guess every game has a different card. So I don't know if they bought a bunch of old cards.
Yeah.
Said, hey, we have 250 cards. Let's make 250 machines, or however they did.
There was
that,
some with the LEs or Super LEs or whatever that had. However they split it, it was half of them were dedicated to bat gadgets and half were dedicated to vehicles or something like that.
His was an episode, I think.
There was some tie-in with that.
Okay.
Whereas that I think is just they bought, I guess.
Thank you,
everybody
eBay
gets
seller
cards.
that sold Stern Pinball
Right.
pack of Batman vintage cards.
Someone bought a storage unit, and in the storage unit, hey, I have an idea for pinball. So other stuff we had was Rob went on a trip recently, across the pond, as they say.
No one says that.
Played some pins in Scotland, right? In Iceland.
Yeah, so I mean, we did a 2-week trip to Scotland and Iceland, and I had to seek out what I could to get my fix while I was over there.
As you do.
There's no pinballs on the west coast of Scotland, an Isle of Skye or any of that. Finally found some in Edinburgh. Matter of fact, one of the places that had a Metallica was Brewdog, which is they've got a show on Esquire Network too, but they have a place over there in Edinburgh, and I ended up putting the number 2 high score in Metallica on my first game.
Sweet.
And then I went purposely to on the other side of Edinburgh, walked to the other side of Edinburgh to a tropical bar. It was just all dressed up like it wasn't Jamaica, but I mean it was something that was all was and
tiki type.
Yeah, exactly, and and it's on the other side of Edinburgh University, because I'd read on the thing that they had a Game of Thrones, and I haven't been able to play a Game of Thrones yet. So I wanted to go over there. And when I got there, my wife and I, there was the X-Men LE, but a very nice X-Men LE, Magneto
That
edition.
one had a crane on it, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, it's got the ice ramp, which doesn't add anything to the game. But it did have the Banff night crawlers and stuff like that. So we
That's
put a few games on that. So I was able to find 2 in Edinburgh, and there's a couple more around central Scotland.
Were they all newer Stearns? Or?
Yeah, there's one guy that routes them, and they're almost all LEs.
Wow.
So I mean, but he's got. It looked like he had like 20 or 30 games that he circulates and routes. But basically, any of the pinballs I could find were because of that guy. So I found his website and then looked up the rest of them and see where there were more.
That's cool.
And then I flew to a country that is estimated to have 60 pinball games total. Over half those are due to the United States base being there during World War II and onward, and they shipped almost all of them over to the base to be able to be played. And that's where most of them came from.
That's cool.
And I was reading up on it before I left, and there's one guy that at one time owned over half of the entire country's supply. He had like 30 games. He ended up selling them some. But a couple months ago, they opened a place called Freddy in Reykjavik, and it's basically like our place. It was really cool to go in there and talk to them. They're located right in downtown area where all of the restaurants and everything are, and they've got 4 pinball games, which is like, quite a good percentage of the entire country is right there. And of these 4 pinball games, one was an Addams Family.
Oh, nice.
One was a Dirty Harry. One was a Barbed Wire, and the other one was a Funhouse.
Nice.
And they were in great condition.
2 out of 4 ain't bad.
And then they had 4 pins, and they had probably about 12 or so other arcade games. Not a very big place, but they did the same thing where they pay by the hour.
That's awesome, though.
I think it was 700 or 800 kroner, which is about $8 or $9, or maybe about $10 an hour or something like that.
That's cool.
And anyway, it was really cool to pop in there. Almost all their arcade games are like LCD mod stuff.
Ugh.
So I don't know how much of that is a factor of. I mean, it's hard to get anything imported there, right? So CRTs, it may not just be possible to get a lot of those in there.
And where was this? Did you say what country?
This is in Iceland.
Oh,
so this was in Reykjavik, the capital there, right there in the heart of the downtown stuff. And anyway, I had a nice chat. I brought a shirt with me to try to trade them for one of their shirts, but they don't have any shirts yet. But anyway, if for any reason, Freddie, you guys are listening, shout out to you guys, and continued success. You have a pretty cool thing going there for a country that doesn't have any pinball games.
That's awesome.
So it was nice. It was nice to try to find some of that stuff and stumble upon some.
That's nuts to think that they only have. I mean, I know it's a small country, but that's crazy.
Yep.
60 games total.
It's a good perspective. Makes you realize, okay, like
that's cool though.
Pretty good.
It's kind of like candy cabs in America.
Yeah, I think between Patrick, Evan, Nick, and I, and Jared, we've probably got 85% of them. Oh no, Eddie's got a bunch too. Damn. Who? Oh my God, I forgot. The biggest collector. He probably has more than anybody.
Yeah, he's been in it for longer
He's
than
like
than
that guy has like
anybody, so-
every freaking candy cab ever made. It's freaking nuts. I know Jared's like, son of a bitch.
No.
He's got that mini Neo, that little the 19-inch one
Yeah.
with the hood on it and everything.
Little SC-18.
Ah, so cool.
Oh, a shout out to Paisley Pinball. I'm pretty sure that was the name of the route operator in Glasgow and Edinburgh and all.
Cool.
So
Well, the last
thanks
thing-
for providing some.
Yeah, that's awesome. The last thing we had on here was to talk about Eric and Sunshine at the was that
Yeah.
CPF they did it?
It was before. It was
Okay.
because
It was the weekend before. I think it was the IFPA World Championship, right?
Was it world or
It's
national?
Women's World
Oh, that's
Pinball
right.
Champion and U.S. National
That's
Pinball
right.
Champion.
And so the setup for the national championship is every year the top 16 IFPA point holders per state are invited to a state tournament. And if somebody elects to go to another state or whatever, they fill it up with the ones behind that. But basically 16 people in each state play, and then the winner of that state goes on to a regional type one. I think it's a regional, and then they go to national. I could be mistaken about that. They might
I think
just
it
play
might just go to
national.
national.
But Florida's representative, Eric Stone, ended up winning the whole thing, which is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, that's really
he
cool.
not only won it, he was 20-1.
Yeah.
That's
lost
ridiculous.
his only game. I think lost.
Is it Trent?
No, I think it was Zach Sharp.
Oh, okay.
I believe it was Zach. On Whirlwind or something like that.
20-1. That's crazy.
And then they also do, and I don't know the name of it, but they also do another smaller tournament that's like a pin golf format tournament there.
He won that one too.
And then he won that one too.
That's ridiculous.
So basically, if you ever like going up against somebody in a tournament and like, hey, my name's Eric, be like, okay, thanks.
Well, and looking on the Florida forum, we don't, we're in North Florida, so I haven't played with him personally, but a lot of the guys, know him and play with him, and they're not surprised by his performance.
Yeah, Jeff Palmer had a lot of good stuff to say about him, and they play down there with Flips and the Asylum, I think is where they're located at down there in Tampa and Sarasota area.
So and that, because and I don't think he was top 100 before this, and
I think he's top 100 now.
Slightly.
Probably. And, I don't know what the Whopper points are and how that all stacks out. But I think it bodes really well. Shout out to the system that the IFPA has set up because, when you're in the hobby, you watch, tournaments being streamed and the bigger tournaments, you generally expect to see the same type of people. But with the state format, I think it really bodes well for them to be able to pull some state reps and people that you don't normally see. And so in this case, it was, a great performance from somebody that isn't normally on that national stage. We might know them regionally, but, definitely not national. So it gives those people an opportunity to step up and really show, because sometimes you don't know when you're playing with the same group of guys, how good, you actually are, comparatively speaking. So, so kudos all around. It was a good stream. It's up on Twitch if you want to see it. Even if you fast forward to the pin golf on at the end, and watch the clutch performance there from Eric with on Gorgar, just shatzing the in lanes, just over and over again. I don't think I would have had the guts to do that over and over again, even though, it might be the safest way to play that game. It's still, each time that ball was slipping to the end of the flipper, you kind of clinch up a little bit.
He just shot the in-lane to in-lane?
In-lane to
build
the bonus up, and then, basically.
Collect the pit? Is that where you collect that from?
I think
magnet
what ended up happening to hit the pin golf score that he needed to win it, he was shatzing in lane, and he got to the point where he could have, it was 10 more of that, or he thought he could, hit that whatever that shot is, that pit shot, and he did it, hit the pit, and that was it. Was able to walk away, and ended up with champion for both tournaments. So
that's crazy.
And I guess a new inbox Stern Pro that they currently have on the line. So
yeah, they were asking if he won one for that and for the pin golf. So if he'd win 2 games, and I don't think they were awarding one for the pin golf.
No,
so
I think it was just the one, but still.
And the other side of that is Sunshine got 3rd overall in the world's women's, right?
Women's, yeah. And that's one of our former players who started playing when we had the CAP tournament a couple years ago. Moved to South Carolina or North Carolina.
I think it's South Carolina.
Yeah, I think it's South Carolina.
And she's gone to the World Championship last 2 years. She finished 2nd place last year. She finished 3rd place this year. So congratulations, Sunshine. Keep up the good work.
That's phenomenal.
And they had a Swedish player that flew in who won it. So I don't know how long she's been playing, but yeah, you got to watch out for them Swedes.
Well, and I think she actually might live in the U.S. now. I think she might be from Colorado, is what I was hearing.
Well, then that's misrepresentation.
But I could be wrong about that. But overall, great performances, and I know when she was here, it was always a good reminder about kind of what you have to put in if you really want to play at that level. I mean.
She was always writing down. She had a little notebook with her. She'd always take with her and write down strategies, and not like look it up on the internet. Like come play and be like, this is what works for me.
Yeah. And watching other players on that machine that you're not familiar with yet to see how stuff is flowing, how the ball's going.
Yeah, she'll still randomly message me on Facebook like, hey, you have a South Park. How do you do this or something like that? Mm-hmm. And that's awesome. It's good that she, I'm sure she watches YouTube videos and stuff too to kind of see stuff. But for her, she learned everything that when she destroyed all of us in our tournament, she came and played the machines and learned them. So
yeah, and so we are always hoping to cultivate more talent like Sunshine, like Eric. Sunshine was someone who never played pinball, just decided to come in and try a tournament and see how she liked it, and she got hooked, and now she's placing top 2, top 3 in the world.
Nuts.
So and we do a monthly pinball tournament called Capital Area Pinball Tournament. It's the third Saturday of every month, and it starts at 5:00, and it's a good way to see if you like it. We're all very supportive. It's not a intimidating atmosphere by any means. We help people, walk them through, give them strategies. It's always good just to be able to compete and kind of throw your skills up against someone else's, and it's always going to be you versus the game than it is you versus the other person. So there's not a really any sort of nasty competition going on. It's just a good time. So come check us out. The tournaments are free with admission. So usually people buy an all-day admission, which for adults is $14.99, and our tournaments usually last 2 to 3 hours, depending on turnout. And you guys can come in here and play this awesome Ghostbusters and try to beat my 2.2 billion score on it.
That is a seriously gnarly score, man. That's ridiculous.
Get on the high scoreboard, you get a free hour. So
good luck with that game now.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon is almost that game.
That's been up there a long time too. Although I don't know how much of that's attributable to people not getting the high score or the downtime we've had with Flash Gordon lately.
It's both, man. That game is just ridiculous. We can talk about that another day. It's such a hard freaking game. But all right, well, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes, so I feel like wrapping it up. So thank you guys for listening.
Thanks for that initial 10-minute investment. I hope you think fondly on it.
Appreciate it, guys. Catch you next time.
All right, bye.
The Flippin' Great podcast would like to thank bensound.com for the music, as well as Arcades for the use of their recording equipment. Be sure to check us out at flippinggreat.com, as well as our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/flippinggreatpinball. Until next time.